Mary. Her first message wasn't about sex. Do you ever feel like you're living the life someone else chose for you? Thousands of women type questions like that into the void every day. He responded because this one felt like a confession, not bait. Yes. It grew from there. Handles to email, email to hours long calls that ran past midnight. Her kids had grown. The house now held only her and the man she married at 19. If they had been strangers then, they were total strangers now. 30 years of him working and her raising kids, and when the noise faded, all that remained was the TV and the weather. She filled the silence with him. Her emails were half confessions, half jokes. I hide in the laundry room with a glass of wine, even though there's no laundry left to fold. Habit, I guess. It's the only room where I don't feel like a ghost. Most nights my husband eats in front of the TV. Sometimes I say something just to see if he's still alive. Usually he doesn't answer. I'm joking, of course. Kinda. On the phone, she unintentionally made him laugh. She was sharp and dry, honest about being lonely, without begging for pity. I don't want to die married to the first boy I kissed, she once said. I don't want that to be the whole story. He saved that line, reread it when the house got too quiet. She sent a Polaroid, chemical paper, glue smell, stubborn as memory. A black slip clinging to her body, a leather collar buckled snugly. A small smile, nervous and proud all at once. He kept it under his pillow like a teenager. She wasn't a distraction, though. She was possibility. They talked about rules and relief, about what surrender meant when you'd carried everyone else for 30 years. Just Mary, she said. I don't even know what that looks like anymore, but I want to find out before I die. He lay in the dark after those calls, phone warm in his hand, her voice in his ear. It felt less like fantasy, more like gravity. At last, they made a plan to meet. The motel. Room 127. Beige carpet, floral bedspread. It was the kind of place you could park your car in front of your room without having to go to the front desk. He drove for hours to reach her, his stomach tight, a quiet voice asking if he'd ever really be enough. He rehearsed that first minute. A knock, her name, his hand on her wrist. The gentle press to the bed. Nothing violent, nothing ugly. He just wanted to see her, that's all. Her text arrived while he sat in the parking lot, the radio softly broadcasting sermons about family values. The text said, I turned down the bed. The cuffs are out. I'm wearing that black dress from the picture you like. This feels like jumping into cold water. If you can't come, please let me know. And he thought to himself. He told himself, just go up. Heart, hammering, knock, say her name, step through. But he couldn't move, and the text kept coming. Where are you? I'm waiting. If you got nervous, I understand. Just talk to me, okay? Please? Please respond, I'm worried. They kept coming, pleading, angry, desperate. But he couldn't bring himself to act. He couldn't move. What if she sees through me? What if I can't perform? What if I'm a fraud? The text stopped around 3 a.m. By 3:30 he had gained the courage, but he needed to close his eyes for a moment to clear his head. 5 minutes, he thought. He reclined the seat, closed his eyes. The maid's scream woke him. She was standing in front of the open motel door. The dash read 8:52. Without thinking, he jumped from the car, ran across the parking lot, and into the room. The rope hit him first. Hinge, knees bent, slip damp at her thighs. Mary! The word tore out before he could stop it. He lurched forward, grabbed her under the arms, and tried to lift her. Clumsily, the rope biting deeper. Her body was heavy and awkward like a mannequin half filled with sand. He let go, stumbled back, his breath ragged. No! No! Please. He grabbed her wrist, cold, slick. He tried to find a pulse that wasn't there. He shook her arm once, twice. Her head tipped against the frame. He gagged. The maid gasped at the door, Spanish spilling rapidly. He turned, his voice rising initially, then falling. Don't touch anything. I'm an off-duty police officer. I'll stay here. Call 911. Hurry. She bolted for the desk phone, crying. The laptop glowed in the corner. Her phone buzzed a low battery warning. He didn't think. He fumbled them both into his hands, knocking something over. He didn't see what. He stayed a second longer, staring at Mary, eyes open, glassy. He wanted to close them, but he couldn't move his hand. He whispered hoarsely, I'm so sorry. God, I'm so sorry. Then he ran. The drive home. Hands at 10 and 2, knuckles white, breath shallow, too fast. He replayed everything. Did he touch the knob with his palm? Leave the sheet half pulled? Did the maid see his face? Was there a camera? Fuck, he couldn't remember. You should have gone up. You should have knocked. She'd still be alive, but you were too afraid, too fucking weak. His eyes burned. He smashed the steering wheel once, hard. The sound startled him. Coward. You're a fucking coward. The tears came easy, burning his cheeks, making him feel less of a man with each one. He tried to push back the memories, but her voice rose anyway, laughing in his ear, self-depreciating, brave because no one was watching. Just Mary. He thought about her last text. This feels like jumping into cold water. She'd risked everything for one chance at more. She hadn't failed. He had. The world had. It had left her no way back that wasn't suffocation. He loved her, and he failed her. For a week, he waited for that knock on the door, watching the local news, scanning the newspapers. 10 days later, he found the obit. Mary Susan Bronson passed away suddenly on March 26, 1995. She is survived by her husband, children, and grandchildren. As per her wishes, no public service will be held. Instead of flowers, donations may be made to the 6th Street Baptist Church. What the fuck? Like she was nothing, he thought. She was everything. She was so much more than anyone knew, so much better than that piece of shit husband and ungrateful kids would ever understand. She was braver than anyone he knew, except maybe his dad. As he thought about the two of them, he realized that Mary, just like his dad, had sacrificed herself so he could be better. Dad gave him a future. Mary made him realize who he was, and he vowed he would never be weak again. He sat for a long moment, still. The grief should have hollowed him out, but it didn't. It hardened him instead, cooling into something sharper. He didn't cry. He couldn't. Grief was too human for what he'd become. Mercy, he whispered, is never having to go back to the life that drove them to me. Mary was smiling now. He loved her. She wasn't in pain anymore. She was safe. But the obit still pissed him off. He drove to her town and paid cash for a full-page ad. Mary Bronson, brave, honest, unafraid to be herself. She faced the world as it was and lived on her own terms. Loved for her truth, remembered for her light, forever seen. He folded the newspaper, smoothed the crease, and set it down like scripture.